wrecked overhead. Blue and gray LAPD, April 8th, 12:30. So yeah, that thing with Alex Jones really kind of burned me. That was like the first time that I'd really seen that guy so clearly. See, I kind of, you can kind of feel it because, as some commenters said, they can't even watch him anymore. It's like you kind of like burned out on him somehow. Like it's you listen to him at first, you're like, yeah, this guy's on the level, man. He's really, exposing the truth and just getting all the the good scoops and everything. But the more you listen to it, the more you become kind of like, well, I don't know. There's just something ain't quite there. But it's hard to put your finger on it. It really is. I mean, what are you gonna, what are you gonna point out? What's so obvious? But where it really became clear to me was was that thing about at first he sounds like he's actually gonna, say something that's gonna truly be, criticizing what Trump is doing. But where you see the tactic is how beautifully he turns it around. He just subtly turns it around at just the right moment. After David said, "Hey man, we got to worry about this guy. I mean, Trump, maybe he's gone off the rails, and the whole thing maybe going to crap." And it turns out he's really an Illuminati puppet or whatever. He didn't say that, but because how often do you hear? Because see now, Alex Jones uses the politically correct term, globalist. Okay, let's see him use the word reptilian. Okay. Illuminati, reptilian, same thing. That's what the Illuminati is. The reptiles. Satan's seed, serpents, okay? Lizard men, okay? That rule us and eat us and enslave us and keep us using antiquated technology when we could be freed up from so much of this misery.
And I remember, I'll swear on a stack of Bibles, I remember a lizard man in that office.
Okay? I was thinking earlier that we're already using alien tech in some respects, because I don't think we came up with all the technology that we've got right now. I mean, even like the camera I'm shooting this on and digital tech and stuff, because I'm not saying it's impossible, and I think the way they keep it is that it matches along the lines of what man may have invented themselves, but they don't want it to go too far, because then if they get anti-gravity technology, if they get zero-point energy, that will free him up from the grids, you see. That's kind of what Greer was talking about, but don't trust him either, I'll tell you that right now, because he's saying all aliens are friendly. Right, I mean, I don't get it, man. I mean, what is only the good ones visiting him or something? I mean, hasn't he heard the testimony of Arizona Wilder and Peggy Kane and all these various people that talk about the human reptilian eating? I mean, this is out there, and it's very visible, and yet he's continuing to say that there's no negative ETs. And do you ever hear him mention the reptilians? No, because when you look at him, I think he is a reptile, dude. At least, or at least he's indwelled by one. Maybe that's why he's so big, muscular, kind of like the same thing as Arnold Schwarzenegger. But when you see him talk, when you see Stephen Greer talk, he always pulls up his collar like this, like he's trying to pull his skin up, like he's trying to hide something, and he keeps going like this. I mean, you look at how many times that guy goes like a serpent, like a snake, and he knows. Okay, keep pulling up his collar, and I think, and that combined with saying that there's no negative ETs or unfriendly to human ETs. It's only Earth humans that are the negative, aggressive beings that all the nice aliens in the galaxy have to be worried about. Yeah, right. So I think that thing where the Rothschild was quoted as the best way to counter the opposition is to lead it is really true. And after I saw that movie where it's Alex Jones saying that Alex Jones revealing the secrets of why Trump attacked Syria, and when you see that, you can see the direction. And I even said on a comment, I said that was beautifully done, Alex. No, really beautifully done, because 90% of your viewers are going to buy it. They're gonna watch that and they're going to say, oh, gee, maybe because if Alex Jones is saying that, okay, first he's gonna hold out judgment. Oh, he's gonna hold out judgment. He was clear in the beginning. I heard him. He says he's gonna hold off judgment. But then, going into it, the longer you listen to him, the more he's basically making it out without any really good reason. By the way, if you listen carefully, the person with common sense is going to say, "Where is your reason? Where is your reason for saying that Trump doing a false flag attack on a foreign country?" Saying that, and what he said in his campaign promise, that he wouldn't be doing that. As he was campaigning, he says, "I'm going to focus on America. We're going to get out of these foreign wars." And here he is, firing 56 Tomahawk missiles at some base in Syria. God knows if that's what they really were doing. Because the lies are so thick now. You can't even. They couldn't hide the fact that the footage of the carriers shooting missiles off, and all the sailors and everything. They're gonna, they can't cover that basic fact up, but then who knows what the real operation was and why he did it. And then let's even just say that that Trump did have a good reason for it. But how is his reason for lying about why he did it justified? Okay, saying that because it's the Assad crossed the line with that gas attack, and I wasn't going to attack and everything, but he, this really does bring to mind. Okay, guys, I mean, I'm sure if you've been following the story, y'all understand this pretty clearly. But I just going to say it again that look, there is no reason for him to be attacking. And this totally goes against the whole thing. Now, Zendris pointed out, if you ever watch the Zendris channel, starts with an X, Zendris, he did a good job of showing how how Trump is just continuing the Hillary, Obama, who were just puppets going along with the Illuminati reptiles, the reptilians that are telling them what to do, because they see the Illuminati. The reason why they call them the Illuminati, because Satan, even though he is a reptile man, a large reptile man walking around seeking whom he might devour, he also has so much power that he glows with energy, and God's word says that he transforms himself into an angel of light. So that's why when all these people meet him, they become so enamored with this glowing power and knowledge that emanates from him, because I'm sure it's like this powerful emanating knowledge. I heard one guy discussing that, and it's so these people are convinced by that. That's why they're called Illuminati. But then so they are all following, and the fact that Trump goes against what he clearly said he wouldn't do, okay? He said he was going to focus on America, he was going to get America out of these foreign wars. Obama said the same thing, and I'm sure Hillary would have said the same thing. And so this is why I had said early on that I don't think Trump would have been let near the presidency if he was actually a rogue, if he was actually outside of control. He's a planned, put in place figure, okay? Because he's doing the same thing, and they figure that if they have a way to attack, because they're fulfilling their agenda. That agenda of the Illuminati is complete world domination, okay? They're taking apart any sovereign nations that won't capitulate to them, okay? You got Assad. I think Russia's under control. Either that, or they're just, I think that they're kind of going along with it for now, because, when they say, they informed Russia and Russia got out of Syria or whatever, but I think it's just they can't do nothing about it right now, because America is just too powerful right now. They have a space fleet, and Putin knows that there's no way that if he confronts if he goes against what America, Babylon dictates, he's just not in a position to fight back. They can just annihilate him real quick if it comes down to a solid war. So they know that it's he's got to go along with it for now. Because and I don't even know. Maybe he's just another Illuminati puppet that looks like he's objecting, like some of these people look like they're objecting. But it's just the fact now that Trump goes against what he said he was going to do, and the fact that he's fulfilling the globalist takeover agenda, that whole plan. You may have heard about that whole plan of taking over. You take over all these. There was like an order of countries throughout the Middle East that they were going to take over.
And even a handful of American companies, according to American diplomatic cables and declassified intelligence records. you have amassed one of the largest supplies of chemical weapons in the world.
To have or not to have is a possibility, but to depend on what the media say is nonsense. Or to depend on some of the reports of the intelligence is nonsense, and that has proven when they invaded Iraq 10 years ago, and they said Iraq has stockpile of WMD, and it was proven after the invasion that was false. It was fraud. So we cannot depend on what one magazine wrote. Were attacked chemically, our soldiers. They went to the hospital as casualties because of chemical weapons. But in the area where they said the government used chemical weapons, we only had video and we only have pictures and allegations. We're not there. Our forces, our police, our institutions don't exist. How can you talk about what happened if you don't have evidences?
Secretary Kerry has presented what he concludes is conclusive evidence.
No, he presented his confidence and he presented his convictions. It's not about confidence, it's about evidence. The Russians have completely opposite evidence that the missiles were thrown from area where the rebels control. That reminds me about what Kerry said, about the big lie that Colin Powell said in front of the world on satellites about the WMD in Iraq before going to war, when he said, this is our evidence. Actually, he gave false evidence. In this case, Kerry didn't even present any evidence. He talked, we have evidence, and he didn't present anything. Not yet, nothing so far.
Well, the United...
not single shred of evidence. Yeah.
Do you have some remorse for those bodies, those people? It is said to be up to at least 1,000 or perhaps 1,400 who were in Eastern Ghouta who died.
We feel pain for every Syrian victim.
But what about victims of this assault from chemical warfare?
Dead is dead. Killing is killing. Crime is crime. When you feel pain about their family, about the loss that you have in your country. Whether one person killed, or 100, or 1,000. It's a loss. It's a crime. It's a moral issue. We have family that we sit with, family that they lost their dear ones. It's not about how they killed. It's about they are dead now. This is the bad thing.
Has there been any remorse or sadness on behalf of the Syrian people for what happened?
I think sadness prevails in Syria now. We don't feel anything else but sadness because we have this killing every day, whether chemical or whether with any kind. It's not about how. We feel with it every day.
But this was indiscriminate, and children were killed, and people who said goodbye to their children in the morning didn't see them and will never see them again.
You mean which
in Ghouta.
In Ghouta?
Yes.
That's the case every day in Syria. That's why we have to stop the killing. That's why we have to stop the killing. But what indiscriminate you're talking about? You said
well, the fact that chemical warfare is indiscriminate in who it kills.
Do you have evidence that there was
innocence?
There was a conflict, there was fighting, there was shooting. That's it. We didn't prevent them from going anywhere. We asked them to come. Why to delay them? Even if you want to take the American story, they say we used the chemical weapons the same day the team or the investigation team came to Syria. Is it logical? It's not logical. Even if a country or army wanted to use such weapons, he should have waited a few days till the investigation finished its work. It's not logical. The whole story doesn't even hold together.
We'll come
now. Don't want a war anywhere, not only against Syria. But the Congress is going to vote about this in a few days, and I think the Congress is elected by the people and represent the people and work for their interests. The first question that they should ask themselves, what do wars give America? Since Vietnam till now, nothing. No political gain, no economic gain, no good reputation. The United States is at all time, the credibility is at all-time low.
And how will you determine that?
By the 2.5 years withstanding, without the public support, we cannot withstand 2.5 years. Look at the other countries. Look what happened in Libya and Tunisia and Egypt.
Do you worry about that? What happened to Gaddafi? What happened to...
No, we are worrying that the rebels are taking control in many countries. And look at the results now. Are you satisfied as American with the results? Nothing. Very bad. Nothing good.
In the police station, when he was being held down and the sergeant came over, he said the sergeant shapeshifted in front of him, turned into a reptile.